JSON and JavaScript objects are really easy to generate, so let's take a look at some examples of how you would express different types of information in this format. The most common type of data you would express is key and value pairs. They're a list of keys with their associated values. Multiple values are separated with commas, so if we wanted to add something here, then I can just type return, I'll put a couple of spaces, and I'll add another key, and then I'll place a value on that key, and I would need a comma at the end. Now notice that the last element doesn't need a comma. You can use white space for clarity if you want to, so you can add any number of tabs, spaces, or carriage returns, and it won't affect the object in any way. And you don't need quotes on numbers, the values true and false, which are the booleans, or the special value null. Once the data has been parsed into a variable, it becomes a JavaScript object. And the easiest way to access elements in JavaScript is to use dot notation. So you could use info.fullname to access the name of this person. You can also use the bracket notation, which looks like you're retrieving the value of an array. This is especially useful if for some reason your keys are not using valid JavaScript names. So for example, we can use any normal string value right here. So it can have special characters, even though they're not valid JavaScript names, and then we would have to access them with the bracket notation. But it's probably a good idea to keep two valid JavaScript names. So we'd use underscores, you would not use hyphens, just use underscores and then just alphanumeric values. Objects can also contain lists, which are array-like elements that you can create with brackets. Here we have a list of courses. The items are separated with commas, and again, there's no comma at the end of the list. In this form, you can access these elements with array-like calls using an index number. Remember that arrays in JavaScript, like in many other languages, are zero-indexed. So to get to the second element of the array, you would use info.courses, and then in brackets the value 1. The value of any element can also be an object. In this form, you can access the elements using simpler dot notation. So to get to the YouTube link, you would type info.links.youtube. One problem with objects is that you're not guaranteed that the order you type the objects in is the way they'll be stored by JavaScript in memory. So if you want to guarantee order, make sure you use arrays instead. Writing JSON and JavaScript objects can get pretty complicated. Most of the time, JSON will be generated by some application, so we don't have to worry about that too much, but you really have to be careful about your syntax when creating JavaScript objects.